And y'all can do better than that. Make some noise for my sister now. Now, I don't know where y'all from, but where I'm from, we do a little deal like this. No justice. 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 Let me hear you scream. My name is David Bullock, Change Agent Consortium, Greater St. Matthew Baptist Church. And I'm here today simply to stand in solidarity with many people around the country tonight who are trying to figure out why another black man was targeted and shot down by police officers. Body lay cold for over 3 hours. His uncle tried to go and cover him and provide some comfort for the body. You know, even hyenas stop and pause and circle their dead. But his uncle was not given the privilege of covering his body. And then as the time goes on, journalists are arrested, and now the president has said we must respect everybody's right to protest, and law enforcement has to have accountability and transparency. But before we get to all of the political maneuvering and the public policy, some of us inside ourselves have a deep emotional, guttural response to what happened to Mike Brown. Because when we read about it and we watch it and we see it, we think about Malice Green.
Yeah.
We think about Ayanna Jones.
Yeah.
We think about Eric Garner.
That's right.
We think about Emmett Till.
All right.
We think about Dr. Martin Luther King. And the fact of the matter is that it's hard to be young and black in the United States of America. Now, it might be hard to be old and black, or young and white, or old and white. It might be hard to have a different sexual orientation, to come from a different class affiliation. But the fact of the matter is that we don't stand up and deal with racism and racial prejudice. We'll never be able to heal the wounds in this country until we become real about what's going on in the United States of America. So it's one thing to come to a rally, but somebody's got to lead the rally and say to hell with racism. And we can hold up signs and sing Kumbaya and we shall overcome, but until somebody gets tired of racial prejudice in the United States of America, we will not overcome. And so the first thing we came to do tonight, besides honor our dearly departed brother, is to recommit ourselves to a struggle that started a long time ago. And some people think we should have stopped struggling against racism because we got a black man in the White House that even those words don't make sense. Why he got to be a black man in a White House? But y'all don't want to say amen. I understand. So we have to deal with the reality of racism. Racism exists. And let me just say, racism is not just prejudice. Racism is an institutional structure that provides cover for classism. And so we are able to be divided because we caught up in the myth of race, because there is no real race. We all bleed red blood. We are all human beings. But we divide ourselves by the color of our skin, which we did not pick, and we deny the reality of a small group of people that have too much and a big group of people that don't have enough. And so while there's no roof for the rich and no floor for the poor, we divide ourselves because you black and I'm white and you live over there and I'm from over here and I got that and you got this, when we all have to come together, because when the people come together, we cannot be defeated. But if they allow us to be divided by racism and classism and sexism and two-facism and ageism, and you ain't got this-ism, then we'll never come together and change these United States of America. And I'm going to be done. I'm going to end mine, because y'all know when you get a brother like me going behind the mic and people are saying, woo-hoo, I don't know, I get lost in the sauce, but I'm not going to be long tonight. But let me just say two things and I'll be done. I want to tell y'all about some hogs in South Carolina. There's some hogs in South Carolina They didn't have law degrees. They didn't have PhDs. They didn't have people sense. They had hog sense. And the story goes that there was a slaughterhouse right behind Main Street. Okay. The hogs were being put inside trucks, slaughtered behind Main Street, and they didn't have anybody who could go to city council and represent their interests. They couldn't vote for the mayor. They couldn't get the governor to pick up their political platform because they didn't have one. They was just hogs. But what they would do is they would squeal at the top of their lungs. They were getting loud as hell as they were going into the slaughterhouse. And as death was coming their way, they would get louder and louder and louder. Got so loud, businessmen and women couldn't conduct business. Got so loud, shoppers could not consume goods on Main Street. Got so loud that city council and mayor and governor said, you know what, these hogs so loud, they're interrupting our ordinary business transactions, our ordinary daily life. They're so loud, we got to deal with the interruption. And I came tonight to say two things. First thing is, look, if you don't have good sense, that's right, you at least have hog sense. Right. Which means you ought to be able to at least scream at the top of your lungs and interrupt a system that is designed to take you to your death. You ought to have enough sense to make some noise and say no justice, no peace. Then I heard somebody put it like this. They said, I have only but a minute. Only 60 seconds in it. That's all I got. Forced upon me, I can't refuse it. I didn't seek it, I didn't choose it. I must suffer if I lose it. Give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute. But eternity is in it. And while we worried about whether or not Beyonce and Jay-Z gonna get divorced, and while we worried about whether or not Blue gonna get her hair combed, and while we worried about the next party we going to, and who's stepping in the name of love, and who Drake got beef with, and what's going on BET and MTV, while we worried about the foolishness of a corporate media and the craziness of capital accumulation, somebody ought to take the short time that they have in this life to be worried about significant issues like accountability for police officers, like racism being eradicated in America, by everybody having an equal shot at this American dream, and by us being a people who will not stop until we make the color of that flag and the dream that is called America a reality, and we will not stop until we birth it through the birthing pains of our protests, of our petition, of our social media activity, of our speeches, of our marching, of our fist raise, of our portfolio, of our painting. We will not stop until we get justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. Somebody make some noise in here.